Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Guberman. I'm the CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. This video today is about a 757 who lost its wheel while it was landing. Now, this could be a maintenance issue, yes, but it still is on a Boeing plane nevertheless. And Boeing has had quality issues with the 757 program, 777, 787, 747. They've had problems, 737 MAX. So this video today is that the wheels are falling off Boeing. QA expert Daryl Guberman explains Boeing gave up inspection 22 years ago, and we're going to prove to you. We're going to prove to you without a shadow of a doubt. They're going to try to discredit and say, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I've got the actual supplier document that basically states if you are AS 9100 for aerospace quality, that's the ISO standard, then what you do is you send in your certificate. It can't be just any certificate. It's got to be ANSI ANAP accredited. And ladies and gentlemen, and Boeing management, Mr. Kirkland Donald and also Mr. David Calhoun, ANSI ANAP, they sit on the accreditation body that they mandate in their supplier portal. You find anything wrong with that? They gave over source inspection to ANSI ANAP if you have a certificate accredited by that. You hand in the certificate, you send them the materials, the parts, they throw it on the plane. You cannot make this up. As Douglas Foster Wallace said, the truth will set you free, but not until it is finished with you. And my dear friends, it is not finished with you yet. I have sent my CV with pertinent information to Mr. David Calhoun. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to tell everyone the truth. He needs, and these guys need, somebody who is involved with quality, with their hands in the quality soup, not sitting behind their desk doing histograms, flow charts, and all the rest of that. You want a guy that's going to be out on the floor, rolled up his sleeves, not a pencil pusher. I have never based my profession, my career, on sitting in an office making a histogram telling you how good your quality is. Your quality is only good when you have people on the floor that give a damn. And here we go. And ladies and gentlemen, not only did Boeing, give up quality inspection for their suppliers, okay, to a piece of paper, but the FAA came in there and made them a regulatory authority, a regulatory agency of the FAA in 2009. I don't make this up. I know this is going to be a long video. This quality issue has been banging away time and time and time again. It's unbelievable. You look at Patrick Shanahan. Patrick Shanahan, he was the Deputy Secretary of Defense, okay? When he was interviewed about the F-35 program, when he had that title, before he became now the head of Spirit Aerospace Systems, who you will find has a registrar, Intertech, who sits on ANSI's board, he said the program is fucked up. That's exactly it. I have these articles. Anyway, let's continue on. And I apologize, fucked up is a quality term. And here it is. You have ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, is a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental corporation. For those of you who've been watching this, I'm sorry to repeat myself, but it's got to get through your head, for Pete's sake. You have Randy Doherty in 2015. He was the vice president of ANAP, the chairman of the International Accreditation Forum, which is a repository for accreditation bodies, national and international. And he was also on the 990 tax report. He handed over leadership to this communist Chinese national between 2015 and 2021. You have government agencies and also federal agencies and corporations that were being watched over him because of the membership that ANSI had with these corporations and federal agencies. When he handed it over to Zhao Jinwu, who's been involved with our quality since 1994, you cannot make this up. He is also mandated by his country of origin, Communist China, to take our data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article number 7. By the way, Boeing did get hacked, Lockheed got hacked, United Technologies got hacked, and many other corporations and federal agencies got hacked while he was between 2015 and 21. He at the time is also the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services located in Beijing, China. And you can see him as the IAF chairman and also the CNAS chief executive standing in Wuhan laboratory. And yes, Wuhan did release the COVID virus. I can confirm that because you have Pamela Sale, who is coming up right now in just 2 minutes. I want to finish this. 2016, Randy invited me to join either ANSI, either ANAB or IAF or both. But I refused because we have a cybersecurity issue here. Don't you think so, ladies and gentlemen? That's why I didn't join. I'm a proud American. On top of it, if you look into the IAF background, you will see that you have Iran and Pakistan on board. Let's continue. In 2017, Randy was being advertised in the Department of Homeland Security. You know, a private concern. A private concern was being, advertised. That's like Guberman PMC asking to be advertised in the Department of Homeland Security. The reason why he was advertised, that would never happen, but the reason why he was advertised was there was a Phil Mattson, who was a director of management, quality, accreditation for the Department of Homeland Security, where ANSI was paying him $262,000 tax-free royalty payment with his federal salary. We continue on. You see this. He's standing in Wuhan, China. You have Ms. Pamela Sale, Vice President of Quality Certification for Laboratory. She basically says from one laboratory to another, they lack protocols. We're going to continue. You can stop the video if you want, and you can read that. Also, you have ANAB sitting on ANSI's board, and you also have ANSI sitting on ANAB's board. They have over 10 different registrars in China that could issue an ANAB accredited certification. You can't make this up. ANSI took over complete control over ANAB in 2018. It's one and the same. The sad part is that between 2015 and 2021, ANSI ANAB sat on the communist-led IAF, run by Zhao Jinwu, of course, I showed you that, and with the federal agencies and corporations on board. So when you look at this and see that Iran and Pakistan, and I'm not saying this about the populations in these countries, I'm saying it about the leadership. They are equivalent in accreditation to ANAB. So can we say that Boeing might be having a tendency, or Lockheed, or any of those federal agencies and corporations might be supporting the factor that you have Iran who is supporting Hamas? Can we say this? Is there affiliation? I would say they're kind of affiliated because ANSI and ANAB are underwriters. So if something goes wrong in a shop in Iran or Pakistan, they can be pulled in as an underwriter because at one time they only said we certify the system. But by them being an underwriter, they have full authority over that part that's being manufactured. They are partially, if not wholly, responsible. Here we go. Now, this is what happened with them. This was members of management. This is what it used to say. Intertek is the registrar of Spirit Aerospace Systems, where Patrick Shanahan is the CEO. They sit on ANSI's board right over by ANAB, that they use the ANAB logo for their certifications. Many of these do. So do we have any oversight? Do we have any confidence in the integrity of quality that is dispensed by these registrars? Absolutely not. Boeing is a case in point. Lockheed is a case in point. After their 801st F-35, they're still producing aircraft with serious issues up to and including loss of aircraft, loss of pilot. I kept on hammering away because if you have members of management, that means all those organizations, corporations, and federal agencies have a say in the operation and function of that business. Well, they changed it because they knew I was right. Look at what it is. ANSI membership roster. Isn't that a tender moment? Now we go into this, and Boeing, you should heed this very well, gentlemen. Okay, they are underwriters. The worst thing is that you guys sit on the board. You guys demand ANSI ANAB. I know because we have GPMC LLC, which is a registrar. Okay, we have many customers. You know, we have the ebb and flow of business that we normally do. But you know something, going up against these guys who are drinking the milk, you'll see, of the factor that Boeing on their supplier portal calls for ANSI ANAB, or international equivalent, which could be Iran, we had problems. But a lot of our customers are supplying materials to the spider networks that Boeing have throughout the country, suppliers. This is came off a website that they changed it when I exposed this, that ANSI, ANAB are underwriters. To solidify my integrity here, gentlemen, we have an actual federal contract. We have many that stipulate that ANSI, ANAB are underwriters for the IAF, International Accreditation Form. At the time that this standard operating work order was issued, because we tried to get the job, except it specifies IAF or ANAB, it is not an open bid type of contract. It is basically, you gotta use this. That to me is unfair and a monopoly. We continue on, and here is the actual government contract, some of it, that gives you the standard operating work order number. It gives you the date 2018 when China was still watching over the IAF. Thus, the State Department invited China in. Isn't that a tender moment in a terrorist type world? You also have the factor down here. It says ANAB is an underwriter for the International Accreditation Form. And this is what an underwriter is. I will not read it. You can stop the video. We want to get into the fact of the matter about Boeing. And bring this together that the wheels are falling off Boeing. QA expert Daryl Guberman explains Boeing gave up inspection for 22 years. They're going to probably deny it, but look at their quality. Their quality speaks volumes about it. And here is Boeing. Yes. And here they go. They sit on their accreditation board. Actually, they sit on ANSI. Well, of course, ANSI took over complete control over ANAB. So you have Boeing sitting on ANSI right over by the accreditation body ANAB that ANSI took over. You find anything wrong with that? Confidence in the integrity of quality? And here we go. This is their actual supplier notification in 2002. And it states this: an on-site Boeing survey/audit, survey is audit, of the supplier's quality system if need be. Our preference is to deal with proven suppliers with excellent quality of performance and not have to do on-site quality systems audits. Basically, they were in bed with the accreditation body ANSI ANAB, which gave them all this fluffernutter stuff that we are seeing right now be of detriment to Boeing's position, posture, and also reputation. Over here, that's bad. 7 years later, it even gets worse. The FAA increased the authority of Boeing's commercial airline division and self-certify its own aircraft. Boeing employs to perform tasks on behalf of the FAA that include oversight and testing and product standards, along with certification of aircraft technologies and new aircraft designs. I will say this again for their supplier information. They basically said you have to have an ANSI ANAB accreditation certificate, send it to us, and send us your parts after, because we don't have to send any quality in to inspect your facility. And to prove it, here it is right off their portal. We have the actual picture. This is a picture of it. We have an actual snapshot on our computer, several of them, and dated several times. And if they cared about their quality so much, Kirkland, I really have to say this, is that they would have changed the verbiage on their supplier portal. It states, ANSI ASQ, National Accrediting Board, American Society for Quality, also sits on ANSI's board. But ANSI actually had control over ANAB, but they didn't improve it. When ANSI took over complete control over ANAB, maybe a year later or 6 months later, Boeing should have changed it. If you have the confidence and integrity of quality and proud of the products you manufacture, you should have, in 2018, actually changed it from ANSI ASQ to ANSI ANAB, like I did here as an example, or internationally equivalent. Boeing has a lot of issues, like fudging documentation. How can we have confidence in the integrity of quality of the ANSI ANAB accreditation that they dispense? Everybody's fudging documentation. From Kobe Steel, and you have Boeing, of course, and any accreditation body that sits on the International Accreditation Form incorporated in Delaware is equivalent in accreditation to ANAB. Just most recently, a V-22 went down, crashed, killing all the service people on board. Also, they just got fined, Boeing got fined $8.1 million for their composite facility, the Boeing Bell V-22 composites. I know a little bit, that's my background, composites and non-ferrous metals, aluminum, titanium alloys. Composites, I will give you an example. Fiberglass has a resin on it, impregnated. Fiberglass. Under temperature, time, and pressure, it becomes a one solid part. If there is a lack in temperature, a lack in pressure, you'll have what's called interstitial bubbling or disbonding effect of the fiber that is microscopic. And what will happen is during vibratory stresses, those bubbles will fracture the resin, go through the fiber, and it will fail. We continue now. You have the FAA, who gave regulatory authority to Boeing. So Boeing is a regulator. When these guys are doing this fluffernutter stuff, saying, oh, the regulator's going to come in. The regulator, FAA, hold on a sec. They gave up that back in 2009, 15 years, ladies and gentlemen. And then you have this. You have the National Transportation Safety Board, is affiliated with the Department of Transportation, which also sits with the FAA, with Boeing, and it is absolutely deplorable. And this video today explains to you the 22 years that Boeing put out a supplier notification if you are ANSI ANAB accredited. Send us your AS9100, send us your certificate, supplier, we check it off. We don't have to send in any inspection, and that's it. So these guys are going to try to clean up a 22-year mess. They need a guy like me to tell you the truth without a doubt. Because you know something? Right now, it is impossible to comprehend the moral mischief, if I may so express it, that mental lying has produced in our society. When a man or woman has so far corrupted and prostituted the chastity of their mind to subscribe their professional beliefs to things they do not believe, they have prepared themselves a commission for every other crime. For 22 years, they have lacked source inspection. They're going to say, no, we send it out. No, they don't. You read further into that document they have. Number one, what makes it bad is they sit on the accreditation body that they shove down their suppliers' throats, basically. If you're not ANSI ANAB accredited, then you can't come in here. Well, I have a lot of my customers who are supplying materials, but when I first began my business, we came up against this mess, and I didn't know why. Now I know why, because on their supplier information that they gave out, notification 2022, that's it. They're all in bed together. They're never going to clean up this 22-year mess without Daryl Guberman assisting, because we know what to do, and we know how to get the job done. So, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you this. If they do not call upon me, you're going to have failure after failure in Boeing. Next time a wheel falls off, next time an engine might fall off, and next time your relative may be dead. And you heard it from me. 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS @yahoo.com. I'm sorry for the length of this video.